Hello and welcome. The movie begins with a scientist named Dr. Humphreys. He works for a mysterious company called Transgenentech. He is deep in the jungle, traveling with a local guide to inspect one of the company's remote research centers. When Humphreys arrives at the research center, it is eerily quiet. There is not a single person there. He enters the research camp to inspect it. Inside, he finds research papers about insects and various lab equipment scattered around. It looks like everyone left in a hurry. He takes out his camera and starts taking photos of the equipment for evidence. Meanwhile, outside the building, his local guide is waiting for him. Suddenly, a massive creature swoops down from the sky. It is a wasp, but not a normal one. It is huge, as big as a human body. The giant wasp grabs the guide with its claws and carries him away into the trees. Dr. Humphreys hears the guide's scream from inside. He rushes out to see what happened, but the guide is gone. As he looks around in confusion and fear, trying to find his companion, another giant wasp descends. It grabs Dr. Humphreys and carries him off into the jungle sky. He disappears without a trace. 3 months pass after this terrifying event. We meet Gina, Dr. Humphreys' daughter. Like her father, she is a young scientist who loves exploration and research. She is working on her own project when a colleague approaches her. He hands her some items, her father's belongings. He tells her that these were found near a river in the jungle a few months ago. Holding her father's things, Gina realizes that he is truly missing. She decides she must go and find him. She plans to travel to the local area where her father was last seen. However, a local worker warns her. He tells her that the place where her father was working is a forbidden zone. It is too dangerous to go there, but Gina is determined. She refuses to give up. She gets a car and drives into the dense jungle, heading straight for the forbidden zone to find her father. As she drives deeper into the jungle, she reaches the area her father visited. Suddenly, she is stopped. A group of American soldiers who are stationed at a base nearby block her path. They order Gina and her team to turn the car around and leave immediately. Gina is stubborn. She refuses to turn back. She decides that getting arrested is better than leaving, so she lets the soldiers take her and her team into custody. At the army base, after the soldiers check their identities, the commanding officer comes to talk to them. He tells them he knows who they are and orders them to leave the area. Gina tries to explain. She says they are scientists and she is looking for her missing father. The soldier tells her that his job is to protect the locals, and he also has to protect silly scientists, too. He explains that this jungle is not just trees and animals. It is full of terrorists, rebels, and drug runners. It is a war zone. Gina is not deterred. She insists that her father is still alive. She shows the soldier her father's tablet, which was among the recovered items. She points out that there are photo records from just 3 days ago. This proves he wasn't killed months ago. He was alive recently. The soldier, whose name is John, looks at the evidence. He realizes that if the father was alive just a few days ago, there is a chance to save him. He agrees to help. John gathers a small team of soldiers, and together with Gina, they set out in a military vehicle to search for Dr. Humphreys. Their journey does not go smoothly. As they are driving through the jungle, they run into trouble. They are suddenly ambushed by a group of jungle rebels. The rebels open fire on the military vehicle. A chaotic gunfight erupts. Bullets fly everywhere. After a while, the shooting stops for a moment. John, the army leader, recognizes the rebel leader, a man named Jaguar. They seem to know each other. John shouts at Jaguar to stop shooting. Jaguar demands that John give them their guns and their vehicle. John refuses. The shooting starts again. The soldiers are well-trained professionals, so they manage to fight back effectively without taking many casualties. The rebels, who are mostly untrained locals, suffer heavy losses. Realizing they cannot win, the the rebels retreat into the jungle. But the noise of the battle has attracted something else. The constant gunfire echoes through the mountains. Moments after the rebels leave, a buzzing sound fills the air. From a nearby mountain, a swarm of giant wasps descends on the soldiers. These monsters are the size of humans. The soldiers, shocked, start shooting at the insects. But these are not normal bugs. They are mutant creatures. They move with incredible speed, dodging the bullets. To the soldiers' horror, the wasps breathe fire. The insects attack the unit, spraying fire from their mouths. Some of the soldiers are burned and killed instantly by the beasts. The wasps eventually fly back to their hive, taking some victims with them. John and his remaining team are left battered and shocked. They have a wounded soldier who needs urgent help. John realizes they cannot stay out in the open. He makes a difficult decision. They must go to the rebel camp to save the wounded soldier's life. They trek through the jungle and arrive at the rebel camp. John asks Jaguar for help, but Jaguar is angry. He refuses to help, saying that his own men suffered heavy losses in the gunfight with John's team earlier. John tries to reason with him. He tells Jaguar that they now have a common enemy, the monsters. He explains that neither the army nor the rebels can survive these creatures alone. They must work together to wipe them out. To prove his point, John shows Jaguar the body of a dead wasp they managed to kill. It is nearly as big as a man. Jaguar looks at the creature. He is a man who believes in traditional myths and legends. He says he has never seen such a creature before. He believes these monsters are a curse, brought by the Europeans, just like the plague was brought in the old days. He says the creatures do not attack his people, only outsiders. John is frustrated. He turns to Gina. He suspects she knows more than she is telling. He demands the truth. Gina finally opens up. She explains that her father was an entomologist, an insect expert. He worked for Transgenentech. She admits that her father was very secretive about his work for the company. She suspects that the company created these mutant wasps through genetic experiments, and that her father was involved. John listens. He decides their priority is to destroy the wasps. He tells Gina to study the dead wasp and find out its weakness. That night, the rebels hold a traditional bonfire ceremony. John's team and Gina's group join in, trying to build trust with the rebels. Gina and her friend examine the wasp carcass. They confirm that it is a genetically mutated common wasp, made larger and deadlier by science. The next morning, the situation changes drastically. The rebels, who seemed welcoming the night before, suddenly turn on John and his team. They capture the soldiers. Jaguar tells John that he cannot forgive the death of his men. He gives John a cruel choice, that John must kill his own team members to earn forgiveness. He forces a knife into John's hand, but chaos breaks out again. One of John's soldiers, who had been hiding separately, tries to rescue them. In the struggle, he shoots and kills Jaguar's wife. Jaguar is consumed by rage. He orders his men to kill all the soldiers immediately. John realizes there is no way to save everyone. He fights back, dodging bullets and escaping the camp alone. He manages to survive the gunfire. He meets up with Gina in the jungle. They sneak back to the rebels' weapons storage hut. They steal guns and supplies. They need a vehicle to escape. However, the rebels have captured Gina's friend. John knows they need to trade. He gives Jaguar's stash of opium drugs. He uses the drugs to bargain with the rebels for Gina's friend's life. They make the trade and prepare to leave. But the noise of the confrontation wakes the dragon wasps again. A swarm descends on the rebel camp. The wasps attack the rebels fiercely. One rebel tries to hide in a toilet, but the wasps smash through it and take him. Jaguar and his remaining men flee into the jungle, running for their lives from the fire-breathing insects. John, Gina, and her friend manage to escape in the chaos. They reach their vehicle. John wants to drive back to the base and report everything. But Gina is still stubborn. She refuses to leave without her father. She pleads with John to help her finish the mission. John, seeing her determination, agrees. They drive through the jungle, heading for the Genentech research facility, where her father disappeared. Unbeknownst to them, Jaguar and his surviving rebels are tracking them, seeking revenge. John and Gina's group reach the facility, but they find nothing there. They realize the wasps must have taken the people to their hive. They track the wasps to a massive cave system. They enter the dark cave. Inside, they see a horrific sight. There are human bodies everywhere. Some of them look like they might still be alive. John approaches one to wake him up, but it is a trap. The person is dead. The wasps are using human bodies as hosts. They lay their eggs inside the humans. As John watches, the dead body bursts open, and a newly hatched wasp crawls out. John shoots it. They move deeper into the cave. Gina spots her friend, who was taken earlier. She rushes to her, thinking she is alive. She wakes up, groggy and in pain. But it is too late. She tells them she can feel something moving inside her. A baby wasp come out from her mouth. Gina, in tears, has to shoot her own friend and the monster to end her suffering. They continue on. Finally, they find Dr. Humphreys. He is alive. He has managed to hide in the cave. Gina hugs her father. Now they have to get out. But the way they came in is blocked by hundreds of wasps. They are trapped. They find a back exit, but it is swarming with wasps. John realizes they cannot all escape. The swarm is too big. Someone has to stay behind to destroy the hive and distract the wasps. John makes the ultimate sacrifice. He decides to stay in the cave, to destroy the cave with explosives that he has already placed around the cave. He tells Gina and her father to run. At first, Gina refuses to leave him, but John insists. There is no other way. Gina gives him a goodbye kiss, and she, her father, and the remaining soldiers run for the exit. John is alone in the cave. Suddenly, Jaguar and his rebels arrive. They have followed them into the cave to kill them. Jaguar points his gun at John. John smiles. He is ready. He detonates the bomb. A massive explosion rocks the mountain. The fire consumes John, Jaguar, the rebels, and the entire hive of dragon wasps. The cave collapses, burying the monsters forever. Outside, Gina and her father watch the explosion. They are safe. They have survived the nightmare. However, as the smoke clears from the destroyed cave, one baby dragon wasp comes out from the dead body. It flies away into the jungle. The threat is not over, and that is the end of the story. Thank you for watching this recap. We will continue to bring you interesting movie stories like this, so please like and subscribe to our channel.